Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Ready for the event. Fixing up his shirt.
Suni Williams Elementary School, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Station, this is Kiana Brunson, Principal of Suni Williams Elementary School. How do you hear me?
Hi, Kiana. Got you loud and clear up here on the station. How you doing today?
Honey, it's so exciting to see you. So we have some exciting kiddos over here.
Hear your voice, and I know that there's...
Do we have a Needham Wildcat here? A Swiss Wildcat?
We have a Wildcat in space, that's for sure. Pretty cool.
Super exciting. That is pretty cool. I want you to know our whole Swiss community is here, our faculty, and 534 of our students who want to say hi. I'm not sure if you can hear them, but they're cheering you on right here in Needham, Massachusetts. So we are super excited to have you join us this morning. We heard on November 30th, you celebrated 500 days in space. That is an incredible accomplishment. We are so proud and honored by the work and the dedication you've shown. You are definitely our hometown hero. Today, we have students here who are student representatives from our 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade who are going to share questions on behalf of our school community. We'll have our 3rd grade start first.
My name is Caitlin, and my question is... How do you celebrate someone's birthday in space?
Caitlin, that's a great question. Actually, we've had a couple birthdays up here since I've been up here. I don't know if you remember, but I flew up here in June, so we had a couple summer birthdays. My birthday was this fall, as well as a couple other people's, and we have one more coming up in December. So it's a special day for that person, right? Of course, we have to still sometimes work, but the crew on board tries to make it pretty special, and we've become pretty good at making cakes up here. We get these cinnamon on top, and so we'll all have a piece of cake, which is great. And sometimes for the icing, we use fun stuff like chocolate pudding cake or lemon meringue pudding, and then we also have, that's already pre-made, so we don't have to do anything with that, just like a pudding cup. And then we have dehydrated strawberries or berries, and sometimes we put those on top. So for my birthday, which was in September, it's also International Talk Like a Pirate Day. And so everybody sort of dressed up like a pirate and talked like a pirate. So that was sort of fun.
Arr.
Arr.
My name is Naomi, and how was the International Space Station created?
You know, that's a great question. My whole career at NASA has been part of building this International Space Station and now living and working and doing science experiments. So actually the module behind you, right here, if you can see behind me, it's pink. It's sort of a soothing color, or light pink. That and the module after it were the very two first pieces to come up to space. The one behind it is actually made in Russia, and it launched on a proton rocket by itself and was orbiting the Earth. This pink module right behind me was actually in a space shuttle payload bay, sort of like the back of a pickup truck. We brought it up to the same orbit that first module was up, and we actually used our robotic arm to grab the other module in space that was floating and put it on top of this module right here, and that was the beginning of the space station. And then every module, like the one I'm in right here, and there's another one in front of me on the other side, and a couple more, were brought up by the space shuttle, and then we again used a robotic arm to put these pieces together, and then a number of spacewalks to go out and actually connect everything up. So it took about 10 years to build it, but we got it all done, and as you can see, it's pretty homey.
Thank you.
My name is Paulina, and my question is, are you in a different time zone in space?
Actually, we are. We're about, I think now with daylight savings time, 5 hours ahead of you guys on the East Coast. We use Greenwich Mean Time, so that's, if you know latitude and longitude, right? The longitude is 0 because we're a little bit displaced from that over in the United States, but it's in England, and that's, like I said, 5 hours ahead of you guys. So we get up early in the morning for you guys, right? So it would be, I think, 1 o'clock in the morning is our start of our day for you, about 6 o'clock in the morning for us, and then we go until about 10 o'clock or so, which is 5 p.m. your time. So yeah, we operate on a different time zone, and you might ask why, right? Why do we have to do that? Our mission control in Houston is closer to your time zone, but we also have mission controls in Russia, we have one in Europe, we have another one in Japan, and so we try to accommodate for all of those people that actually work and support us as a big, huge team here. There goes Nick.
Funny. Hi, Nick.
My name is Eris, and my question is, do you need to eat more in space than on Earth?
So the question was, do you need to eat more? Well, you know what? Initially, I wasn't hungry when I first get to space. I'm not so hungry. It's sort of like I don't know if your digestive system isn't getting sparked by the need for food, but now that we've been here for quite some time and we're working out on a regular basis and trying to keep our bone density up, I think I talked about that with all of you, and our muscle mass, because we're working out, we're running on the treadmill, we're riding on the bicycle, or we're lifting weights. I'm eating quite a bit. At home, maybe I eat breakfast and then I eat dinner and I sort of skip lunch, which is not a good habit, by the way. But up here, I feel like I'm super hungry and I want to eat those 3 meals a day and then sometimes even a little bit of a snack. And we have all sorts of food. Since you asked about it, why don't I show you a little bit? So hold on. So in the morning, it's nice to have a little bit of fresh fruit. So this is citrus fruit salad. It's already prepared. We just got to open it up. We actually have a refrigerator too that we could put that in. I like Indian food, so they actually sent up some Indian food that all you got to do is put in the heater, or like at home you'd put it in the microwave. And then we also have stuff that you have to hydrate. This is spicy Caribbean chicken, and if you could see it, it looks sort of funny, but we just put water in it, and then we're able to hydrate it, put it in the heater, and it tastes really, really good. So those are like some of the things we eat, and I pick out my favorite stuff like this and eat, like I said, 3 times a day, at least.
Yeah, so next one. Thanks, Sunny. That looks delicious.
Hi, my name is Priya, and my question is, what does a solar eclipse or sunset look like from your perspective in space? How does it compare to what you see when you are on Earth?
Yeah, so we can look down on the Earth, right, rather than being on the Earth. So when we're looking down on the Earth and there's a solar eclipse, I missed it. I wasn't here on time, but I saw pictures of it from up here. Actually, a circle that's dark that's translating across the Earth. Pretty cool, huh? Sunrises and sunsets are another thing that's just amazing. 16 times we can go see one. It looks like it's daylight here, but I'm inside. We don't have a window right here. We have one below the camera, but I'd have to turn the camera to show you. So it looks like it's daylight because we have all the lights on. But 16 sunrises and sunsets. So at any time of the day, we could probably go to the cupola or the window here and go take a look at it. And it's just a matter of seconds that the sun comes up, and you can actually even feel the heating of the sun as it's coming up. The sunrises and sunsets are very, very bright also. It's a little dangerous to be looking right at the sun. So we have sunglasses in the cupola just in case as well. But before long, it's risen and it's overhead, so it's not as big of a deal. But yeah, they're spectacular, and we could see that curvature of the Earth. It's just absolutely beautiful.
Hi, my name is Michael, and my question is, how do you know what time it is to go to sleep in space?
Well, first of all, I get tired, so I know somewhere by the end of the workday, somewhere around, we stop working, or we sort of call it a break at about 6:30, 7 o'clock, have some dinner, and then I'm usually ready to go to bed just because it's been a long day. But just like we were talking about, here, right, it seems like it's daylight because we have lights on, and so just to help us go to sleep, we actually turn these lights off. And also another interesting thing, if you can see, the lights are on the ceiling, right? It doesn't really matter if we're upside right or upside down. We could still do work, So we keep the lights on the ceiling just because that way we can stay oriented, and that way we know which is the front of the space station, which is the back of the space station, based on where the lights are. So the lights are for a couple purposes, just to keep us oriented and to keep us knowing when it's daytime and nighttime. We have a couple lights we keep on at night because, sometimes you have to get up and go to the bathroom. So around the corner, we keep a light on. And then where we have our water fountains, in case anybody wants to get a drink in the middle of the night and fill up a drink bag, we also keep a light on. And also because there's a lot of stuff in here and you don't want to bump into it, right? So we keep a light on here and there, but not all the lights.
Thanks, Sunny.
Caitlin again. Does the Earth look different in summer and winter?
Oh my gosh, it's a great question, because I was just thinking about this the other day. I was in the cupola and I was looking and like, oh my God, the northern hemisphere is all full of snow already. Like just a couple weeks ago, we were flying over the Himalayas and the tops of them had snow on them, but very obvious where there was a snow line just because it's colder and it's higher. And now that whole area is just blanketed in snow. Also, like where you guys live, right, up in the Boston area in Canada, that's all of a sudden all the lakes up there are frozen in Canada, and you can tell it just happened overnight. I could definitely tell that there was a change from the green of the summer to the fall. Like all of the landscape started looking a little bit purple, but already it's white. So are you guys all ready for winter? I hope so. It's coming.
Yeah, we're ready.
This is Naomi, and what happens to astronauts when they return from space?
That's a good question, and you'll probably see it because I'll probably come visit you. But it will take probably a month or so before I get to come up to Massachusetts and visit everybody. But when we initially come back, it's pretty big jolt to the system. It's partially why we work out quite a bit, like I was mentioning on the treadmill, the bike, and the weightlifting is one to keep us healthy up here, while our bone density and muscle mass would go away if we didn't, because we don't need to walk, right? But also when we come home, we want to be able to do everything that we normally do. As I get closer to landing, I'm going to walk on the treadmill a little bit, like with my eyes closed, for one thing, just to make my proprioceptive muscles, all the little muscles, have to get recharged. Also, probably do a lot of passive, where you're pushing the treadmill versus the treadmill running, and that way that works on some of your calf muscles, because some of those types of muscles haven't been used that much while we were up here. We do a lot of carrying of a lot of heavy stuff, but it doesn't weigh anything, so it's nice to work out on the weightlifting machines and stuff like that to keep ourselves in good shape. That's Butch. You guys have heard about him quite a bit. Him and I flew together, and he's getting ready to load up a spacecraft that's going to take a bunch of our scientific experiments back home.
This is Paulina. How does the food in space compare to the food you eat normally? Is it hard to eat or drink?
The food is good because that's all we have here. I think if I had the choice to have some other food that was what we get back on Earth, like Mom's home cooking, like Mom's Thanksgiving, I probably would opt for that. But like for Thanksgiving, we actually had dehydrated roasted turkey, which was surprisingly pretty good. We didn't have any cranberries like from Cape Cod, unfortunately, but we did have apples and spice, which went alongside to get that salty sweet thing. It's not horribly hard to eat here because of those little bags that I was showing you, that the food stays in there and everybody has a spoon. All the food is a little bit gooey, so it all sticks to the spoon. So that works out pretty good. Drinks are a little bit different. I will demonstrate because I brought one with me here. This happens to be pineapple drink. So all of our drinks come in something that looks like this, a little silver bag. And that's how, when I was talking about the water fountain, we fill up water right at the top here, and then we put a straw in. But I'm going to put the mic down for a second and just show you. It's sort of like a juice bag, right? So let me just show you what liquids look like up here. It's a little bit of a pain, but sometimes it's fun.
We got a big kick out of that over here, Sunny.
Awesome. I fear that if elementary school was in space, there'd be a lot of playing with food and a lot of mess, but that would make it a lot of fun also.
This is Eris again, and my question is, has an animal ever gone on the ISS?
Interesting question. This wildcat is here, right? No. But a real live animal? We actually have had animals up here. On was it my last flight? My last flight, actually, we had Egyptian jumping spiders. It was an experiment to see how the spiders actually would adapt to space, because they don't build that type doesn't build a web. It actually jumps and gets its prey. So they wanted to see, could you jump, right? Because like when you jump on Earth, you think that you're going to come down, but here you're just going to go up and hit the ceiling. So how is an animal going to adapt to that? And they did. They figured it out, which was pretty cool. They were adolescents, and they grew up while they were up here for a month. We've also had mice up in space, and I know that there's been some experiments, maybe not on the space station, but on other spacecraft with rats. And there's also been, in the very beginning, of course, you might have heard about Laika. She was the first space dog on the Russian side, but didn't come to the International Space Station. And on the U.S. side, we also launched monkeys in the very beginning. So there have been animals in space. I would love to have my dog up here, but my hair is bad enough. I think my dog's hair would be shedding all over the place. So maybe we'll have to figure that one out.
This is Priya, and this is going to be our last question. What is the coolest thing you have seen in space?
What's the coolest thing we've seen in space? We have been really lucky because there's been some amazing solar activity, meaning some energy has been thrown off of the sun. And how that relates to us is we've seen some incredible aurora. You guys have probably seen some too, or you've seen pictures from all over the world recently that show some of that aurora. Because usually we think of aurora as green, right? It's this green energy motion that's coming or dancing in the sky. But from here we see it above it, and we see it hitting the Earth. And not only is it green, it's also high energy particles are making it red as well, which is incredible. And we've actually flown through curtains of this. It's like dancing and moving all around us. And when you open the cupola and you could see it far away, and then we start to come right through it. That is pretty incredible. Another thing that I think that is really awesome, though, is the amount of stars that we see. One of the guys on board, Don Pettit, I think he flew by earlier. He has been taking some incredible pictures that maybe you guys have seen as they're on the internet. And it's just crystal clear how many stars there are. It's ridiculous. And a nice thing up here is we get to see constellations and stars not only in the northern hemisphere where you guys live and where I normally live, but we also get to see southern hemisphere stars, which are different just because of our position on the planet, right? But we got to see the Southern Cross and pick out all sorts of constellations from the south. So that's been a learning experience for me. Every day is something new, and we got great people up here who are a lot smarter than me, and I get to learn something from them every day, as well as doing all this amazing science experiments that we're doing up here.
Yeah, thanks, Sunny. The pictures have been amazing. We've shared them with the community. It's so awesome what you get to see up there. We actually have time for one more question, and we're going to let our last fifth grader close us out.
Hi, it's Michael again, and my last question is, what do you do for fun in space?
Can you say the question one more time? Sorry.
What do you do for fun in space?
What do we do for fun in space?
Yes, what do you do for
Was
fun
that
in
it?
space?
Oh, there's so much to do for fun in space. I don't know. Did you guys see our Olympic video? Huh? I mean, it's amazing what you can do up in space for fun. I'm trying to perfect my gymnastics, of course. I think I'm getting pretty good at it. I can even still talk while I'm doing some of them, which is pretty fun. So for fun, that's pretty cool. Other fun things. I actually write a journal, which I think you guys get, which is I think just good because it puts things in perspective. I think I like everything about being up here. Even on Saturdays when we clean, it's fun because like we have vents down here, but all I got to do is go upside down, with the vacuum cleaner or whatever, and I could do everything from a different perspective. So I think just living in space is super fun. But I think you're also asking about, like, do we play games or do we look at the computer and stuff? Well, sure. I do a little bit of that, but it's hard to think about doing things that you would do on Earth while you're up here. Taking advantage of this environment is probably the greatest thing. And going to the cupola or going to our spacecraft, which is docked on the front of the space station, and just looking out the window and trying to identify places is pretty fun for me. For geography, I quiz myself. I go into the cupola and try to, without looking at world map, try to identify where we are over the planet at that time. So I think geography is probably one of my second favorite things compared to doing gymnastics in space.
Well, that seems like lots of fun. There are lots of oohs and ahs. I bet any one of our kiddos would love to come join you there on the space station and do some gymnastics or look at some of this cool sights from space to Earth. That would be awesome. But we are so glad that you were able to give us this opportunity, Sunny. We are so proud of you. We are missing you and can't wait till you come back to Earth and join some of our little Wildcats here at Suni Williams Elementary in Needham. So we wish you safe travels, Godspeed, and keep doing the great work that you're doing. Thanks, Sunny.
Absolutely. It's great to be with you guys today. So happy we got to connect. And you guys have a great Christmas as well. Merry Christmas. Have a great winter break. And I heard the Needham Rockets are playing for the state championship. So go Rockets in the meantime, too. You guys take care.
Thanks, Sunny. Go Rockets. Happy holidays. We'll see you soon.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event. Thank you.
Thank you to all participants. Station, we're now resuming operational audio communications.